Yep, no, not outside, not outside. Whew. Just gonna do a live outside. Can't do a live outside. It's raining too hard. Whew. Let's see if we can get this doing another way. Alright. Maybe we can get it. There we go. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Will, and I'm back. I was going to do a video from outside, but apparently, as I was setting up, it decided to rain. So we had to move inside real fast. Looks like the bottom is currently dropping out. What is going on, Leon? Yeah, it's been a minute. It's definitely been a minute. So, unlike last time, I'll get into everything, or a lot of things that's happened, not everything. Well, hey, Miss Savannah, I did get your text. I meant to text you back, but by the time I got it, it was too late to be texting anybody. I don't know what time you go to bed, but I didn't pay attention to the phone till about 2, 3 a.m. last night. So I do apologize. I was going to text you back, but I just didn't want to be rude and text you when you're asleep. But, yeah, thank you for reaching out for sure. I had actually told Miss Laura and a couple others I was planning on going live today, so it was already in the works. It was just kind of one of those things. I was waiting on the swelling in my eye to go down. Some people know, some people don't, but I actually developed a tumor on my left eye. So I had to get that taken care of, and there's still some swelling. I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but there's still some swelling and stuff where the stitches and stuff is all at in there. But I did not want anybody seeing me with my face looking like I had a nose sitting up here. And that's about what it looked like, because I had a growth coming out of my eye socket. And it was mostly in my eyelid. But it was getting so big it had actually expanded from my lid to back, I guess, up above the lid. I don't know how you want to say it. But they went inside my eyelid and excavated a lot of that. It was actually kind of a bit traumatizing because I was awake during it. Because it was done as an outpatient procedure. By the way, how's my sound? I'm doing this all from my phone. Obviously it's raining, so if it's picking up the rain, I do apologize about that. I wasn't really planning on there being rain. I was planning on doing this live outside. But sounds fine? Well, I'm glad to hear it. I've actually got one of those directional mic things that I had gotten before that I'd never gotten to use, and I decided to hook it all up today. And it all connects to my phone, which is amazing. It's even got, like, if it's dark and stuff, it's got a light that can blind the dickens. You know, do one of them professional YouTuber things, but I ain't doing all that. Whew. Oh my goodness. Talk about blinding you. If I wasn't blinding my eye before, that'll blind you real quick. But yeah, it's on tripod and everything else. Kind of like the setup, but at the same time, it's one of those things where it's going to take some getting used to for sure. How are the snakes doing? All the death and stuff stopped. We were able to stop all that. We got everything taken care of. It wasn't adenovirus, for those who do not remember what was causing the issues with the snakes. But everybody who made it through all that is actually doing quite well. Babies are, for sure, everybody's eating again. Some of them a little slower than others, but everybody's eating again. But yeah, life's just been hectic as could be. Been trying to look for a new job because my previous job decided to let a number of folks go. And of course, they found a reason to terminate a lot of people. Something in the neighborhood of, I think, 1,000 people got let go, which was dramatic to say the least. But with COVID-19, they were having a lot of issues. Yo, what's going on, Bronx Ball Pythons? It's not a name I recognize, so welcome. If it's a name change from a different channel, let me know who you are from the past, and if you're new, welcome, welcome. Oh, kind of surprised we haven't seen some of the others dropping in here with but I know I've heard that Chris has had a busy life schedule recently. And yes, Vanna, it may be a blessing in disguise, but right now it's just making life a little more difficult. But thankfully, I've got good friends who've helped try to keep me sane through all the trials and tribulations that life can throw at one. You're new first season breeding? Well, congratulations. Anytime you've got a question, feel free to ask. I've been breeding for, I think 13 years now, 12 or 13 years. I'm actively trying not to breed this year. I decided that. And my goal has never been to be a big breeder. My goal was more to be a caregiver to animals, educator to anybody who has a question, and just to be a positive influence in the community, honestly. I do not want to be a big breeder like a lot of them. I want to keep a small collection of animals, no more than 50 or 60 ever. And I know if you're new to the hobby, hearing a small collection is 50 or 60 is insane. But at the same time, people really do, in this hobby, really do get up to hundreds and thousands of snakes. What's going on, Pat Pending? How are you today, brother? Hope you and yours are doing quite well. And yeah, Patton, there's just been a number of health issues where I found it best to not have my face on camera because I didn't feel I could be a positive influence in the world, and I didn't want to bring people down. I really didn't. Not to mention, I just didn't have a very good outlook on myself because I had a tumor growing on my eye. I was very self-conscious about it. So I tried not to show it to those who reached out, but I really was struggling. Like, in my head, I was struggling. Well, thank you as always. And as always, you know I'm going to do more lives than anything. Just, it's easier to answer questions on a live than it is anywhere else. Dale from DVL Exotics, how are you today, brother? Hope you're having a blessed day as always. Speaking of people who reached out, Dale's another one. Thank you very much, brother. All the kind words and the thoughts definitely do mean a lot. Oh, you don't have my number? Well, you know the rules. Make sure you can write it down or whatever and let me know when you're ready and I'll give it to you again. Oh, how are you and your family doing out during this critical time? I know I've personally been studying COVID-19 like there's no tomorrow. Oh, you're not giving me a reach around? Well, damn. I thought I was going to be edged just a little bit. Also, for anyone who is new to my channel, as long as you were being polite, you can say about what you will. until the time that Reagan drops in. If you see Reagan's Reptiles and More, she is underage, and we do try and keep things very appropriate for Miss Reagan. But you will hear me cuss, you will hear me be a real human. I'm not one of these people who try and sugarcoat the world. Yeah, Leon, our country does have more problems than COVID-19 by far. I was actually talking to one of my friends over in the United Kingdom today, and Black Lives Matter and riots is happening over there, just like it is here. Now, for those who don't know, I'm a nihilist. I don't care if you put Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Don't Matter, White Lives Matter, White Lives Don't Matter, Native, Asian, Latin, lives do not matter. In 500 years, nobody's going to remember our names. Mother Nature is always going to continue revolving around the sun, or Mother Earth is always going to continue revolving around the sun. Species will evolve. We will either survive or we won't. My idea for humanity is to live the best life you can while you are here, in whatever manner you see fit for you and yours. Hopefully, it's conducive to furthering mankind and animal kind alike. But I know a lot of people that isn't their agenda, and I can't really fault them as long as they are trying to be good human beings. You know, I have a belief that humans are not going to last forever. And I'm sure that given Mother Earth and other planets exist, I'm sure there will be other life that comes after. Shout that number out, please. All right, it's going to be 812-391-8000. Again, if you didn't catch it, it's 812-391-8000. And for anybody who doesn't have it in the chat, that is my own personal phone number. If you need to rewind it to catch that number, feel free. If you have any questions and you don't want to ask it in a public forum, feel free to send me a text or to call. I'm usually asleep somewhere between 4:30, 5 o'clock a.m. and maybe 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. During those times, I tend to be asleep. Any other time, you can hit me up. Even if it's during those times, if it's an emergency, hit me up. I will wake up, especially if it involves an animal. I have been woke up more than once for animals. If you have a personal issue and you need to wake me up just for somebody to talk to, I'll wake up and I'll talk to you. If you want to wake me up to shoot the breeze, I'll tell you I'm going back to bed, and I'll call you when I wake up. That's the sex hotline number? Oh yeah, that's a sexy hotline number right there. I'll tell you I'm rubbing my nipples and doing whatever you want me to do, as long as it's to myself and not to you. Oh, Miss Savannah's like, I'm going to hide in the shadows on that note. Oh. But yeah, for those of you who don't know though, for COVID-19 and the world in general, Black Lives Matter, there is so many pressing things going on right now. If you don't pay attention to the news, if you turn the news off, there's actually something a little more pressing than maybe both of those combined. China, 2 days ago, I was going to say yesterday, the news covered it yesterday, but it was 2 days ago. China decided that they were going to prepare for war. However, China did not name what country it is that they intend to declare war against. Now, there are three major countries in which China tends to have a little bit of contention with right now in the world. One is the United States, but I don't think they're dumb enough to invade us. One is India, who is one of the United States' biggest allies. I don't think China is going to invade India for fear that the United States will get involved, which really leaves one common sense target, and that's Taiwan. And America has some ties in Taiwan as well. But if China goes to war, it could set off a third world war. And it would probably be like the First and Second World War, where not everybody jumps in at once. People would sit back, alliances would be made, Taiwan would be ringing up everybody, or India would be ringing up everybody, or even the United States would be ringing up everybody. Whoever China decides to go to war with, everybody's going to ring up everybody and try and get some kind of alliance to back themselves up, because they do not want to go to war against China one-on-one. The United States could hold our own, though we'd have to break the Geneva Convention to do it. And I don't think the United States would have a problem breaking the Geneva Convention just for knowledge. But China is known to be a little bit crazy. Yeah, Leon, that's actually kind of one of the worries. Is China is just like the United States in that regard. They can take the battle anywhere else. Now, problem with taking the battle to China is their sheer numbers. That's kind of like them bringing the battle here. If we went over there, so many civilians would die so fast it would not be funny. However, them coming over here isn't much smarter, because their civilians aren't really armed. Our civilians are. I think they said 1 out of 9 Americans, and that includes kids, 1 out of 9 Americans owns a gun. Obviously, we know I own them. I've had no problem pointing that out in the past. So I really do not think China is dumb enough to come after us. At least not directly. China has been waging war against the United States since the 1940s, 1950s, financially. And China's probably winning that war, to be kind of honest. They own the majority of the United States debt. And realistically, that's the way China is operating in the United States, and I don't see that changing. But if they go to war with India or Taiwan, I really do see that being a long-term problem for the entire world. First off, India and China both have nuclear weapons. Both have biological, chemical weapons. I mean, their life would not be good for anybody. And I honestly don't know enough about Taiwan's military background, their capabilities, to know what they could do to stop China. I'm guessing. Oh, well, thank you, Bronx. Yeah, thank you for hitting that like. When it comes to lives, I don't really know how much likes really affect getting more traffic in here, but I love that people hit that like button nonetheless, so thank you for that. Yeah, Laura, at first it was going to be a test, and then people dropped in, so I just kept going with it. I was also going to shoot outside, and it decided the bottom was going to drop out. So, that is just how that went. Because I got a new microphone to hook up to my phone. Well, thank you. And as you can see, Miss Laura, since you know, my eye is getting better. There's still some swelling and stuff like that. You can see the lump and stuff in there, the fluids, but most of it has receded. Now it almost looks like one of those, what do you call them, Shazians? However you say that word. I ain't one of the people that pronounce everything right every time. I like that one, Dale. He said we ain't even letting him leave. Yeah, but hey, Miss Laura, I hope you're doing quite well today. And as you can see, I can actually see out the eye again. Miss Laura is one of the few people who, I think I sent a picture to Miss Laura how my eye was at one point, early on. Because I found out I had a tumor, and she and I had talked about my cancer and a number of other things. So it was kind of, I was going to be venting to her. Well, I'm glad to hear it, Miss Laura. It really is nice to know that the family has missed me, and it really is a family for sure. I wonder if you can change the name of the live while doing the live. Nope, that mutes the microphone. Well, hello, Miss Pink Fox. How are you today? Oh, apparently my phone is... Okay, well, we got some weird... Okay, now that's just confusing. We can't be doing all this. Where's the right functions? There we go. Let's leave it alone. I'll figure that out later. Okay. Whatever. I just won't touch it, and hopefully it'll go away. And yeah, Dale, we are family. There ain't no doubt about it. Okay, that's not going away. Not that. That. Okay, woo! Alright, I'm just not messing with the phone anymore. Since apparently I made things go all kinds of wonky. I had stuff popping up all over. I don't know if y'all saw it, but it had some circles on there and everything else. But hopefully it's going to be fine now. I was just trying to change the name of the live. Keep your hands to your sides. Oh, they were bubbles. Okay. Whatever they were, it was not something I was expecting to happen. So we're leaving it alone, and I will just leave the name of this live as test. Because it really doesn't matter. As always, I'm going to be deleting the live afterwards anyways, or hiding it so the rest of the world doesn't see it. And, yes, bubbles. Okay, well, apparently Pink was out here blowing some bubbles. That's what that was. Oh. Also, by the way, Ed or Cassie, are y'all hiding in the shadows? Just curious, because I know y'all like to lurk about as much as I do. I have no clue how many people are in here watching right now. So we'll figure that out later. So many less options on the phone. I wish my computer was still able to do YouTube, but apparently I broke it somehow and I haven't really cared to sit down and fix it. Ed is the live ninja master. I think Ed might disagree with that one, Dale. Ed tries the ninja. He really does. It's kind of like Chucky from Mad Bio Reptiles. He can sneak in sometimes. Andy from DEA Exotics. He'll chill in the background sometimes. Matt from Olympus Reptiles, he'll chill in the background of some people's lives at times. You will find people chilling in the background that you don't know are there. Though I ain't seen Matt in my channel yet. So I don't think he's found mine or If he has, he hasn't really done much. Right, he does give himself up about 80% of the time. Where like Heather, Shelly, all of them, they'll be able to tell you who the normal chat ninja is. But anyways, been going on in everybody else's life, not just mine? What's going on in everybody's lives? Everybody's family's been safe from these diseases that have gone around, and the looting, rioting. Everybody's snake's doing well. Yes, that is something that Rob has a tendency to do, is definitely mute people, drop his phone, and everything else. I always think it's funny as can be when he sits there and, oh, I didn't mean to mute you. Oh, well, I guess they got a 5-minute timeout. They can go get themselves a beverage. Man, it's still pouring out there. I wanted to do that live outside, or this live outside, so bad it wasn't funny. We're healthy and COVID free. I'm about to buy a new rack because I need one and found somebody local that makes them at a decent price. Well, very nice. Who is it that's making them? Do they have a business? Because I'm sure there's people in here who might actually need racks eventually. I ain't gonna say no names, but basically anybody in the snake world. Whether they make their own or decide to buy them is completely up to them, but for snake enrichment, honestly, small enclosures are kind of the best now. Oh. And where are you located? If you're asking me, I am located right at the Kentucky-Indiana border for the time being. I do not wish to stay here. I would like to move to eastern Texas. I think is where I've decided is I want to be located because of laws and things like that when it comes to revolves around owning animals and things of that nature. All healthy here. My rabbit got neutered yesterday. He was terrorizing all the stuffed animals in the house. Oh! Spanish guy named Luis in Dover, New Hampshire, which is in Cash's hometown, if anybody didn't know. Okay. Yeah, I know Cass and Ed are talking about eventually moving back out that way. Oh, New York City in here. So, for those of you who do not know, I saw his name was Bronx Ball Pythons. He's a little bit of an outlaw. If you were in New York City, legally you cannot have ball pythons. So he's a little bit of an outlaw, and I do support that decision, by the way. Wish I would have had my camera on me when we got home. Never seen a rabbit so bad in my life. I was surprised when I found out that Cass was from 2 towns over. Oh yeah. And Leon's on the Kentucky-Tennessee border. I believe he's on the Tennessee side of the Kentucky border. But yeah, he's not too far away, about 2 hours away. We need to get everybody together. Because Rob ain't that far away. Not in New York City, you can't, Bronx. It is illegal to transport ball pythons into New York City. It is illegal to keep them in New York City. Because they unfortunately have been fighting to make other species of snakes illegal as well. And the U.S. ARC is fighting to get that reversed, of course. I'm pretty close to you. I can hear the storms here, but just sprinkling at the moment. Yeah, you're pretty close to me, Savannah. You're, what, 20 minutes away, give or take? Oh, correct. Yeah, no ball pythons in New York City. I believe the only types of snakes that are allowed in New York City currently are small colubrids, and they're trying to make that impossible as well. And that's only because there's two types of small colubrids that are natural to that area, even though humans have mostly eradicated them. Now, I'm not telling you not to have them in New York City. I don't think cops are going to come in your place and care. But if they were in your place and they were looking to pin something on you, it is a misdemeanor, I believe. I could be wrong on its classification, but I believe it's a misdemeanor. Doesn't mean he's quite following the law either. But yeah, you cannot take them into New York City, or I believe you could have them grandfathered in, though. You weren't allowed to breed them, but you're allowed to own them if you had them until they pass away. From the time that law was made, which I don't remember how long ago that law was made, but it's been within the last 15 years, so people could still have some ball pythons, of course. Because my oldest was 25 years old that passed away last year. And I know people who've had ball pythons that were over 30. Actually, I know some people who have ball pythons over 30 that are still alive. I might have to look that up. Maybe the law got repealed. I don't know. Maybe U.S. ARC had a success there, but I haven't heard them having a success. But as of last year, you could not. I know that for a fact because I tried to ship a snake to New York City and found out the hard way. But yeah, U.S. ARC has been fighting that for a long time. Yeah, Dale, we'll definitely have to look into that because that's a whole nother market that could be tapped into. Not for me, but for you, of course. I'm actually not going to be trying to sell mini ball pythons. I normally give them away. Y'all know this. When I breed, half the time I don't sell them. Half the time I just find them a good home where people I know will enjoy them and it'll enrich people's lives. Actually, you could probably talk to Kevin too. Kevin would darn sure know since he's in that area. He would have a lot of business coming in from over there. And for those of you who don't know who Kevin is, that is the guy who runs Nerd. Really good guy that lives in that region. That he's been in this hobby longer than I have by far. And smart guy too. If you're looking at getting snakes, his are a little more pricey. You do pay for his name a little bit, but high quality animals that are well taken care of. And he is very anal retentive, so you know that the snakes are taken care of in a great manner. He might be a little bit of a pain to work with from what I've heard, or to work for from what I've heard, but well worth it. Because such a high quality of care for the animals. And I would probably be a pain in the butt to work with too at times, because I'm particular about my animals. You know, if it's coming up on cleaning day, for instance, I do let my waters run low. I take the cups out, try and get the humidity out and everything else. Dale said, yeah, he's a pain to work for. I'm sure he is. I've heard he's a pain to work for. But at the same time, second to none in the quality of care for his animals. I haven't heard one, as big of a breeder as he is, I haven't heard one person complain that they got a bad snake from Kevin. I've heard him say he messed up and misidentified a snake because of how many genes he works with, and dual sire clutches, and things of that nature. But even then, he's made every mistake right. And usually if he does misidentify a snake, it is usually in the customer's favor. And he still takes the time to make it right, to get them the snake they are looking for. But that doesn't happen very often. He's so spot on his animals, it ain't funny. But that's also one reason why I try not to dual sire clutches ever. Dual siring is just asking for a headache for identifying genes if anything in there is similar to another. Also, one reason why blue-eyed and black-eyed Lucy's, I would prefer them to be the same gene to the same gene, like lesser to lesser, Russo to Russo, fire to fire, whether you want blue or black. Oh, of course, Dale. It is hard, and personally, I like 2 and 3 gene animals. I do. Well, thank you, Bronx. I do plan on doing more lives, getting back into it. Life has thrown a few curveballs recently. I'm not going to say it ain't, but I really do enjoy just getting the community together and chilling and hanging out. A lot of times it is not, I'm not here to talk about a specific topic. You'll see me trying, if I can get my computer back up and working, bet he has 10 gene animals. I bet you if he has a 10 gene animal, he can't identify all 10 genes in that animal. He can't. And I'm not saying not to make 10 gene animals, but the animal, the base normal is a gorgeous animal. It really is. And I love the beauty of the animals, but I like keeping it semi-simple and beautiful. We know I like bright animals, so Orange Dream, Albino, anything in the brightening complex is honestly lesser, Russo. I would say Mojave, but it tends to make things darker unless you pair it with something, so you kind of got to pair Mojave with something before I really think of it as a great gene, but on its own, not my favorite, but I love it in combos. Oh, missed something. Yes and no, Dale. There are certain genes that obliterate pattern. If you put a 10 gene animal in with like champagne into a 10 gene animal, you aren't going to know it's got more than 4 or 5 genes. You're not. Champagne obliterates pattern. I know people who love champagne, swear by it. It's not my favorite gene by far, but I know people who swear by it. The only combination I really like champagne with is albino and calabash reduction gene. And I've seen a few animals with more than 3 or 4 genes that are gorgeous, straight gorgeous. But yeah, if you're messing with gene animals and you're trying to throw 100 genes together, 10 genes together, whatever, at a certain point you can't identify them all. So you can't sell it for what they're going after. And when I say what they are going after, I'm referring to some of the bigger breeders. those who are doing it as a business full time. I'm glad they're producing beautiful animals. I am. But it's getting harder and harder to buy from people like that who or buy those gene combinations because they want so much money for an animal. Because yeah, it can throw out 100 different things for you, but now you've got to go and identify those 100 different things as well. You buy a animal, say it's a male, because that makes life easier. You throw it to 5 different normal females in its first breeding season. Yeah, you can identify almost every gene that's in that animal because you'll get so many combinations that you can identify. Then you know what you've got. But until then, you don't even know what you're buying, so you don't know what to spend the money on. If you're somebody like me who likes things simple, it ain't worth the money. It's just a beautiful animal. But yeah, I mean, for beautiful animals, like, we all know that I'm hoping to eventually open up a pet shop, have many different species of animals, and things like that. And there's gorgeous animals, whether it's snakes, whether it's mammals, arachnids. I know not everybody's a huge fan of arachnids. I love arachnids, scorpions, spiders, all different types. I love some insects. Praying mantises. I was thinking about keeping a fire ant colony and a number of other things, but I haven't been able to get my hand on a queen fire ant yet. 2 different people said they were going to get them for me, but never got me one. Rose did find a female during the nuptial flights, but she hadn't been mated. So, unfortunately, just never was able to get one. But there's always next year for that, or the year after. But yeah, I mean, I love animals. I love creatures on this planet. Much more than I like people most of the time. So, definitely a huge fan of the idea of just having a pet shop and stuff. But I'm still going to be here to educate for ball pythons. And animals in general. People have questions, I'm always going to be available. Well, almost always. Oh. But alright guys, I think we're going to bring this live to a close here in just the next few minutes. Of course, go ahead and take the time to say goodbye, get all that in there. If anybody wants to put out your contact information, if anybody wants to get in touch with each other, make sure you do. If you're new to the channel, follow everybody who's in the chat, because most people here are animal keepers. Some of them are content creators. Bronx, I don't know if you're a content creator or not. If so, I'll be looking you up after the stream. And if you aren't, well, I'll still probably drop you a follow in case you do decide to breed this year and you decide to post some information. I'll be able to follow it up. But yeah, good night, Miss Savannah, Dell, Bronx, Pink Fox, if you're in the background. Miss Laura, you may be in the background still. I don't remember who else we saw drop in here tonight, but anybody and everybody, it was nice hanging out. It's been a while and hope we can do this again sooner than later. Yeah, definitely planning on it. I'm going to probably try and get back on my twice a week program. Haven't decided on times, days, all that good stuff. But as always, peace, love, and a rubber glove. Be well.